Andrew Carnegie was a Scottish-born American earning fortunes in the steel industry, becoming a major philanthropist for the United States. Andrew Carnegie was born November 25, 1835 in Dunfermline, Scotland, to Will Carnegie, a hoodlum weaver, and Margaret Carnegie, a seamstress for shoemakers and a political and social reformist. Carnegie's family began to suffer from poverty and starvation, so in 1848 the family immigrated to America to find new economic opportunity. They settled in Allegheny, Pennsylvania, where Carnegie began his first career as a bobbin boy in a cotton mill, changing spools of thread 12 hours a day, 6 days per week. This occupation only offered Carnegie a salary of $1.20 per week. In 1850, he became a telegraph messenger boy in the Pittsburgh office of the Ohio Telegraph Company and earned a salary of $2.50 per week. In 1853, Andrew was employed by Thomas A. Scott of the Pennsylvania Railroad Company as a secretary/telegraph operator. At the age of 18, Andrew took on the role of the superintendent of the Pittsburgh division of the railroad, where Andrew amassed a surplus of knowledge on big business which would be immensely significant for his future success. While holding the role of Pittsburgh division superintendent, Andrew made profitable investments in several businesses, including oil, coal, and iron. In 1865, Andrew left his post at the railroad company. With the rapidly growing railroad industry, he made a series of railroad-related investments. He then began founding ventures such as an iron bridge building company and a telegraph firm. Carnegie was only around the age of 30 when he accumulated a vast wealth, becoming a true representation of rags to riches. The Industrial Revolution boosted the output of products in a wide variety of industries, including the steel industry. With the Bessemer process, Carnegie was able to increase the amount of steel that could be produced. Steel was being made faster and in larger quantities, making the metal much more affordable. The low prices of steel allowed railroads and skyscrapers to be constructed much more quickly and easily. However, the steel industry had a dark side. Within the factories, every foot of the building seemed to be filled with peril. Massive engines pounded like thunder, and machines spat flames in all directions. Working in a steel factory was unhealthy and dangerous, and to lose a limb was disturbingly common. These men, though, made it possible for steel production to rise and to build parts of America, both literally and metaphorically. In the year of 1889, to resolve what might seem to be contradictions between the creation of wealth and social provision, Andrew Carnegie created the Gospel of Wealth. Within this book, he wrote about how the upperclassmen should maintain their wealth and suggested some guidelines to how they should be using their money. He once said, first, to set an example of modest living, shunning, displaying, or extravagance, to provide moderately for the legitimate wants of those upon him. Carnegie wants to set an example of the superior wisdom to those who are dependent on himself. Carnegie believed that the rich should come forward and take the responsibility of philanthropy. At age 65, Carnegie sold his company to J.P. Morgan for $480 million and devoted life to philanthropic activities, giving away over $350 million. His philanthropic interests were centered around the goals of education and world peace. He had noticed that there were few libraries in 1881, so he and the Carnegie Corporation spent $56 million to build 2,590 public libraries. Carnegie died August 11, 1919 in Massachusetts of bronchial pneumonia. After his death, his last $30 million of his health was given to foundations, charities, and to pensioners.
The man himself, the drive that he had and the ideology that he had, he may have been successful.